Welcome to my new YouTube video here. This is going to be about the new Cyclone. So in the last video about the patch, I basically told you my reaction to the patch, seeing it the first time. But now in this video, we're gonna take a deeper look at the Cyclone and what actually changed. The changes made to the Cyclones are very significant, so let's get started. So basically it now has a speed upgrade. As you can see right now, it's moving relatively slow. So now the upgrade that it was before is basically its speed upgrade. So if we upgrade that, we are significantly faster. HP got reduced, you can make it out of the reactor and so on, we all know that. But the most interesting part is about the new lock-on. The new lock-on is basically its auto attack, because there's no more cooldown, so you can always lock on. And as soon as the rockets, as soon as you lock on, it immediately shoots. Before that there was a 1 second delay, but now it immediately starts shooting. And yeah, I mean that's about it, for the new Cyclone in terms of what changed. We're gonna have a look now to see how it does against certain units. So first off, we're gonna start with a Stalker. One Stalker against one Cyclone. Let's see how that goes. The cost of that, by the way, is completely even, as you can see. So let's just get started. So we're not gonna micro because I'm here alone. I can't really micro both sides. And in this case, it is an even trade. That is a good sign, because what we want to really test is the core strength of the unit. We do not want to test anything else. The core strength is the most important. This is now, I like that it's more a infantry unit now in a way, because, or not, a reacted unit. So you can use it more like infantry, where you just dump your minerals into it. Before that, you could only do it with the Hellion, but the Hellion is so bad against Stalkers. So I really like the idea of making the Cyclone this unit bio, that you can just have to support your mech army, tanks, to protect them and actually fight units like the Stalker. So this Cyclone needs to be trading well against the Stalker in order to be useful, or the Zealot or anything. We're gonna test that exactly here. So we're gonna do 5 Stalker against 5 Cyclone next. No micro, let's see how it goes. And as we can see, obviously the damage overlaps with the Stalkers against the Cyclones. But the Cyclones are still trading very nicely. That is good for the early game, because 5 Cyclones are easy to build. So for the early game, this is actually incredible. The way they or the cost efficiency in which they trade is really nice. We're gonna increase the count one more time, 10 this time. Let's see how that goes. Obviously the longer, the more we go, 10 Cyclones against 10 Stalkers. At this point the Stalkers should have Blink. But the Cyclones are still able to hold themselves against the Stalkers, which is once again a very good sign, because it's the same cost as well, and you can make them out of a reactor, so they are not super expensive. One last test against the Stalker is going to be 30 against 30 Stalkers. Let's see how that one goes, and then after that we're gonna use some Blink Micro to see if then the Stalkers perform better. And also we want to be getting an attack upgrade, because the Cyclones have speed upgrade, so I feel the Stalkers in this numbers, they deserve an attack upgrade. Now this is actually incredible, look at how well they trade. This is a very good sign. Now the question is, obviously I can't do this while playing alone that easily. The question is how much of an impact Blink has. So I'm just gonna try and do 2 ways of Blink microing, either concave or just Blink back. I'm just gonna try a little bit to Blink back the Stalkers, see if I can trade better that way, because that's what I'm afraid of. The moment that you have Blink, that the Stalkers become significantly stronger, because you can just really dodge all these Cyclones. And as you can see now, with just a little bit of Blink micro, it suddenly looks very different. So that is not a very nice sign, because the Stalkers didn't even have the attack upgrade. So if Stalkers can already outtrade the Cyclone, I'm not very happy about it. We're gonna do a realistic scenario next. Let's go for 15 Cyclones against 15 Stalkers, and then we're gonna Blink micro. Or let's go 12 against 14. I feel that would be a realistic scenario against a 4-gate Blink. Though against a 4-gate Blink, we always want to keep in mind that the Protoss, you're gonna have a tank or so. I just want to see it in smaller numbers if I have early Blink. This is also way easier to micro. How's it gonna like impact the traits against the Cyclones? And as we can see, pure Cyclone is garbage in that case. That is very unfortunate to see, because the Stalker is not a unit that actually does very well. Like, the Stalker is kind of a garbage unit. Like, it doesn't have a lot of strength, except against like I mean, it has like a lot of mobility. Like, for example, if I show you like in this case like Marauders, like we just get like how many 14, or we get 12 Marauders, which is way cheaper than the Cyclones. So this is not even a fair comparison. Like, this is like 12 Stalkers against 14, I mean 12 Marauders against 14 Stalkers. And as you can see here, it's like gonna trade a lot better. Like, the bio is just gonna trade a lot better. Like, keep in mind, this is like costing way less than what the Cyclones cost. They're still gonna lose, but like the cost is like not the same. But in general, it does look like there's some strength to it. So yeah, I mean, we can trade very well against Stalker. Next up, we're gonna go for Zerg. Or let's finish Protoss. Let's go Immortal, by the way. There's one thing I'm afraid of, because I tested this on stream. I nearly forgot. Like, look at, like, let's not even get 20 Immortals. That's kind of ridiculous. You're never gonna see 20 Immortals. Let's get 10 Immortals against, I don't even know, like, how many Cyclones? 40. We're gonna get 10 Immortals against 40 Cyclones. The Immortals are gonna have +2 attack, and the Cyclones are gonna have, like, 1-1. Let's go. How are they gonna trade? And you can see one thing. The Immortals are ridiculously strong. This is 40 Cyclones. 40! I'm not kidding. Look at that. Haha, the Immortals are actually gonna win the fight. For a second I thought the Cyclones might have a chance. And look at the cost difference. This is double the supply in Cyclones against like the Immortals. So I can see some issues in that regard, because the Immortal like 2-shots the Cyclone, which already makes it like a lot weaker. So I'm really not sure how that's gonna go, because the Immortal is already good against mech. In this, I guess, in this interaction, what I can see is like adding Liberators to your composition to like take out the Immortals. But yeah, I just wanted to show you how ridiculously strong Immortals are against Cyclones. It's incredible. We can also test the Zealot, if you want to, while we're here. So we're gonna get just like a realistic number. We're gonna get, let's say 20 Cyclones against 30 Zealots, and just see how that goes. Let's get 1-1. Oops, not bio. Let's get 1-1, and yeah, let's stick with +2 charge. Maybe an armor upgrade. Protoss usually is had in the upgrades. And we're gonna get like 30 Zealots and just fight. Let's go. No micro, obviously. Like, if I micro the Cyclones, they do a lot better. Wow, I'm actually surprised by how bad they did. Quick comparison to like Bios, it is 40 supply of Cyclones. Let's see how like 30 supply of, or, oh wait, it's 60 supply. Wait, I need to check this again. Have I made a mistake? This is awkward. No, I didn't. Yeah, it's 40 supply, exactly. Okay, 40 supply, so we're gonna get 60 supply of bio in comparison, and not microed. Let's not get 60 supply there. We want to have like somewhat even cost. Let's get 50 supply. I think that's a fair comparison. We're gonna get the bio upgrades, which are much cheaper, and then we're gonna fight. No micro, just for comparison. This is how bio trades against Zealots. And you can definitely see they trade a lot better. But obviously they're also not going to win the fight without micro. This is just for a quick comparison. So honestly, the Cyclones did not do too badly, because like here the bio obviously gets destroyed as well. But now I'm going to show you how it looks like with micro. And then it's like an entire different story. So we're going to get 20 Cyclones again. And now we're just going to like, boop, lock on. Lock on. Like we can kite like this. And now like the Cyclones are ridiculously strong because of how fast they are and how quick they just lock on. I don't even know if I'm doing it like correctly, or if I'm like still not doing it the best I can. But like, as you can see, that's incredible. That's really good. Just against the Immortal, I see it being problematic. Let's go with some Archons maybe, just to see how that does. Let's get 10 supply of Archons, because I think the Cyclones probably win this fight, right? No micro. I feel like Archons are not great against Cyclones, but I mean, it's 10 Archons. I feel like this was not a fair trade to begin with. I count this as a win for the Cyclone. I mean, we're talking about 10 Archons, like, that's so unrealistic. And that's about it, I think, for Protoss units, right? There isn't really anything else. The Colossus is really good against the Cyclone as well. So all in all in TVP, we're gonna go into TVZ now. All in all in TVP, it does seem like the Cyclone now is not bad. I mean, it's okay. I can work with it. Yeah. It does seem like it can trade somewhat well. Though I'm not 100% convinced, because Stalkers seem very strong against it. So this is something I would have to test in-game. But it can definitely trade a lot better, and I do like the idea of like making it out of a reactor. Because think about it like this, why you don't see mech against Protoss is actually very simple. So if I play against a Zerg, I can open up Hellions and Banshees or Battlecruiser, and then the Zerg essentially can't like poke at me with like stuff, because like the Hellions counter the Lynx and the Banshees counter like anything else, like the Roaches. So I have like enough space to be able to take a third. But against Protoss, I don't have a unit that I can make out of the reactor in the early game while taking a fast third. So if I play like against Protoss, I either have to make Marines with no upgrades out of a reactor, or I have to go for Hellions, which is not good, because Hellions are garbage against like Stalkers, and you don't want to make them against Colossus either. So as you can see, like there's like a huge problem in that regard, because I'm never going to take my third. I'm always going to make units that are either weak, like the Hellion against the Stalker, or I'm going to make units that are literally useless, like the Marines without upgrades. So I do like the idea a lot. We'll see how it's going to play out. And now we're going to get into the TVZ matchup quickly as well, just to demonstrate how they do against the Roaches, for example. But I think we're just going to start off nice and easy with the Zergling. Let's just get 60 supply of Zerglings like against the Zealots. I think against melee units I should just micro to begin with, because no micro doesn't really make that much sense if I think about it. So we're just gonna do it with micro here. Have I gotten all the upgrades? Yes, there we go. And wait, 100, what did I do, man? Yeah, okay, it's fine. 120 Zerglings looks like so much, wow. Okay, let's go. Okay, this is a little bit weird. I have to like hide like this in order to micro. It looks like this is how fast the Zerglings get killed, otherwise I'm not like doing a lot of damage. I did not expect that to go so horribly, wow. And I don't think I did like a micro mistake, did I? I mean, obviously my micro isn't pretty, but like this does not look like particularly great, man. I can't really kite because of how the Cyclone now overlaps. So for example, to show you, I think the problem, like there's like a lot of Cyclones shooting the same Zergling. Like look at this, if you have Ultralis, with Cyclones now you just attack move, every Cyclone will lock on the same Ultralis. Before that you would have to like rapid fire with lock on in order to like have more than one Cyclone locking onto an Ultralis. So against Zergling it's actually really bad, man. How is it against like the Baneling though? I'm actually quite shocked by that. But at the same time it's exciting because I mean it kind of makes sense. Like the Cyclone shouldn't just like, you should make Hellions to counter Zerglings, right? But like at the same time against Banelings it should be really good now, I feel like. Because Banelings are a lot like slower. So you can basically infinitely like micro against like the Banelings easily. So like this is actually really comfortable, I would say. Well, I have to go like a long distance here obviously. So like this actually feels rather nice. I do like that. I feel like it's going to be an exciting exchange in those units. Let's see how it does against the Roaches. Roaches. Let's get the 1-1. Let's get the speed upgrade for the Hydralis, no, for the Roaches here. And let's just go for 60 Roaches. Let's see how that does. We're just gonna attack move this time. Let's see. And then we're gonna try to micro. Though, like the lock-on range, as you can see, is like got decreased. So like kiting Roaches with Cyclones. Seems like it's gonna be hard. So the roaches win pretty easily. But I can micro, right? Yeah, we can micro. Though the Cyclones don't have the extra damage against armored anymore. So actually they don't do a lot of damage, as you can see. They actually don't do that much. But it's okay. They can win, that's the thing. Like they can still win. Obviously in this case it's kind of unrealistic with how far I'm running away. Like in a normal game of StarCraft you will not see a fight like this. But I think you get what I'm saying. In this case, this is like totally fine. They can win. My micro is very lackluster, by the way. This could have been much better. So really not so bad as well. Like I do like the trade there. How does it do against the Hydralisk? That's something I'm very excited to see. Because like before that, let's say 50 supply of Hydras. Before that, the Cyclone would do like really bad against the, or when I say like really bad, like in general, it couldn't like really fight the Hydra so well, and it still can't. But I think that makes somewhat sense. The Hydra is sort of like a space marine. It does have a lot of DPS, so yeah, okay. I can see that being okay. I mean, you shouldn't fight head-on like this anyways. So this to me seems like, I mean, it can fight. It does trade decent. One thing I can definitely say, it's not overpowered, it feels like. Because like it doesn't win the fight super hard. We're gonna go for the Ultralisk now. One last thing here. We're gonna go for the Ultralisk. If you want to have another video about the new patch, by the way, then leave a comment. I will see what I can make. This is like my first testing to see how like the unit operates before I go into like patches, games on the new patch basically. And yeah, let's go here. Cyclone against Ultralisk should not be great, but not bad either, right? It really shouldn't be too bad. It is actually quite strong. We have to admit that. Yeah, okay, against the Ultralisk, it's obviously a significant buff that like the Cyclone lock-on, like it overlaps. Against Ultralisk, it's a significant buff. Against Zerglings, it's a nerf. But I do like that, because you would have to make Hellions anyways against Zerg, so... And it's like so much nicer to micro now that the lock-on is instant. So I feel like you still have a lot of room to like micro against like Zerg, for example. Against Roaches and Zerglings at least. Overall, I'm very positively surprised. It actually does do reasonably well. One thing I can say for for sure I want to say, but like in my opinion, it doesn't seem overpowered as we saw in some of those trades. It doesn't seem like overpowered. Like look at the Immortal fight again. Like I want to do that one more time. The Stalker can beat the Cyclone as well, for example, but more like later on, like early on. And that's actually something I very much like. So for example, if the Protoss goes for like 7 Stalker, he does like a 3-gate proxy, you know. And you have like 6 Cyclones to defend against like 7 Stalkers and an Adept. That should be a fight the Cyclones win, right? That should be a fight they can win, especially if I pull some SCVs. Okay, in this case the numbers were a little high. So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about one thing, because it definitely doesn't seem overpowered. It definitely does not seem overpowered, but I'm like very uncertain about how the Cyclone, like if it's too weak, because it got like redesigned in the last patch as well a little bit, because the upgrade like did bonus damage against everything except bonus damage against like armored only. So like the Cyclone before was useless. Is it still useless is the question. I guess that's what we're gonna find out. I mean, if you want to see me do more testing, and like I said, leave a comment on the video. By the way, against TVT, and that's the last thing, the last part about the video, I will not be doing any testing in TVT because I don't think it's like particularly useful in this matchup. The early game dynamic will change a little bit. So this might be more like a meta game thing where maybe people are going to open up more Cyclone heavy now on TVT. Maybe we're going to see reacted Cyclone opening like all over the place in TVT. So I'm really not sure, like there's more change to the early game. Like in the mid game against Terran, like Cyclones are useless. You have tanks all the time. So like, I mean, we can go ahead and like do that. I mean, why not? But as you can see, if we get like 40 Cyclones, let's do the same as like Immortals against 10 Siege Tanks. Well, I guess tanks aren't that strong. Let's get 15. So this is like nearly half the supply, nearly, yeah. Nearly half the supply. Let's get like rid of one tank, and then let's get one attack upgrade. Or 2-1 against 2-1. And then we're gonna siege up the tanks, and then we're gonna run in like a completely open field, as you can see. Let's see how they do. Yeah, terrible. Obviously terrible. So you're not gonna see like Cyclones that much in TVT, I feel like. Though with mech, let's see, against Bio actually. Now I think about it, with mech against like Bio, do they trade decently against Bio? I don't think so. I don't think so. And by the way, if you get Hellions to soak up some damage, then the trades might be better. This is like a pure Cyclone test, which is usually not how it is in-game. Okay, let's get 20 against 50 supply of Bio. And let's see how they do. Let's go. We're gonna get 2-1 for mech. Let's just get 2-1 for Bio as well. Or 2-2. But Bio usually have better upgrades. Let's go. They do badly, Bio. Like, really badly. Like, this is like, yeah, complete destruction. So honestly, in TVT, I don't think I have that much hope for the Cyclone, but yeah. That was my testing for the Cyclone. To give you a little bit of an insight. Quick summary before this video ends. So against Predators, I think Immortals might be way too strong against the Cyclone, which might make it that like the Cyclone is useless. So I guess I'm gonna talk in percent. I feel like there's like a 10% chance that like the Cyclone is, or it kind of doesn't make a lot. I guess you get what I'm saying. I feel like there's a very small chance that the Cyclone is actually good enough, because to me it doesn't feel strong enough. Like against the core units, like for example, if I this is like the summary, like if, for example, if I play Bio and I have like this much Bio against like Stalkers, like I just have Bio against like Stalkers or Immortals, like the core units of Protoss. Like here I have 50 supply of Bio against, let's do 2-2 Stalkers with Blink. Let's do 30 Stalkers, 35 Stalkers. Or actually, let's do the same as with Cyclone, so we're gonna go even cost, so I think 50 Stalkers like makes a lot of sense. So look at the cost. Look at the cost difference. Even supply, but like the cost difference is insane. And this is a fight the Cyclones like really lost, like so hard, like really like not even close. And like look at this, I'm gonna micro the Stalkers a little bit. Like this is how it should look like with units like the Cyclone. Like this is how it should look like, ideally. Like this is just ridiculous, obviously, but like this is the direction it should go. Yeah, this should be the direction in my opinion. Which I think is going to be hard, because the way you counter Bio is like splash damage. So making it like too overpowered against Stalkers, for example, it'd be hard to like get like Disruptors against Cyclones, because you can always dodge them. But yeah, like the reason why I consider Cyclones to not be maybe, like the reason I'm not like thinking that they will be that great in this matchup is because Bio is just so much better. Like look at how well Bio does against like all the core units of Protoss. Except like Colossus, Disruptor, and Storm, of course. But then you have answers like Micro, like EMP, like Vikings. So yeah, we'll see how they do against Zerg. I'm honestly not sure, even after this testing. Honestly, no idea against Zerg, how good they are. No idea. They could even be good in the early game against Queens. Like honestly, against Zerg, they could be quite nice. I don't know. We'll see. Against Terran, I think it's going to change up the early game perhaps a little bit, maybe not. That's something that we're going to see. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment, as always, subscribe, and I hope to see you again for my next video. Bye bye.